She
Now,
shot Jake for a reason, though, right? For cause, presumably.
her words were at her trial that he tied her to a pig trough. You know what a pig trough is?
Yeah.
Is a V with two ends. And he beat her with check lines. You know what that is? That's leather.
Yeah.
She was pregnant with Virginia then. And it made a difference with the jury. Now,
And why did he supposedly beat her?
both of them were hard-headed.
I'd heard he was an alcoholic.
He might have been. I don't know that for sure. But I know this was the setup on the day that he was shot in the back. That a chicken hawk had been robbing their chickens. And he had this .22 laying on top of the chicken house. And they had been arguing. And this came up at the trial. So it's a matter of just reading what they wrote about at Clarksville paper at that time about what was going on then. And they had been arguing here, and she picked up this gun as he's going through the lot gate about 50 yards away. He turned his back to her. And she said, "I will kill you for beating me." His words, "You don't have the guts." And she pulled the trigger.
She shot him at 50 yards with a
She
pistol?
shot him with a .22.
With a pistol?
No. A .22.
A .22 rifle.
Rifle.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I think she really didn't know what she was doing there, because she gets on the phone and she calls her nearest neighbor and told him that she had just shot Jake. Well, right now I can't think of that guy's name. Brother Bob knows what it is here, but I can't think of his name. But he come down right away, and he was the first on the scene, and he was first here to call the police, and the police come out, and Mom went to jail. In about a year, she had this went on, getting a case together, I suppose, and a lawyer named Cobb, Virgil Cobb was her lawyer. Well, at the end of her trial, she was found guilty and served about 9 months in Little Rock. And naturally, Cobb got the farm. It was no longer the Thompsons' farm. It was his farm to do what he wanted to do with it. So that is about as far as either of us know. You're going to have, if you ask more people, the more people you ask, the more confused you're going to be.
Did Beatrice go back to California then after she got out of jail?
Yes, she did. And Virginia was born. And this made a lot of difference about how long she served in jail, because she had a baby.
Virginia. Who took care of Virginia then while she was in jail?
I don't know that. The Garrison did not. So, a good guess, though, is a good friend of theirs. The Beasleys were the neighbors. They were close. What? What are we doing here?
Nothing. We're just wrapping up. So yeah. So I meant for Abe to come over a little bit more discreetly, and he didn't take visual clues very well since we're not squirrel hunting, and you're not a squirrel. So all that makes sense, guys.
Sure.
Much as it's going to.
Yep.
So that's the way that it happened.
That is the way that happened on the kidnapping part. It is the way the Arkansas law read is that he has as much right to the boys as she did. And at that time, they're not in California. They're at Clarksville. So whatever he had to do, he was going to keep Bob and me together. Now, hard as those times were, those were times when you would notice that how hungry you were. Neighbors would share what they had, you know, canned fruit, their veggies, whatever. Once during that time, when Bob was living with Mom and I was living with Dad, a neighbor brings a gunny sack of peanuts down, you know. He come out of the woods literally with a peck of peanuts, I think he called it, you know. And they were red peanuts that had more than 2 peanuts in them. Some of them had as many as 4. Well, that was quite a treat. That was close to Christmas time. But that was the kind of neighbors that you had back then. Through the summertime, there was nothing that got thrown away. Grandma Minnie done things like drying peaches and apricots out on the hen house roof, tin roof. And this was the dried fruit. It would be gone by Christmas time. Other tricks that I've never seen anyone use but Dad was at one apple picking time. He buries several bushel of apples in straw that he got pulled up from a field, you know. And at Christmas time, we still had apples.
What do you remember first getting for Christmas? What's your first Christmas you remember?
Telephone. That I got from somebody else?
Or from family, yeah. That you,
Yeah.
and like a play telephone?
Like a play telephone where we lived on the Johnson farm. They were wooden, and they were the round type, you know. You could do about anything with it, but you couldn't
Talk on it?
anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about any of that fruit make it to Christmas time? You ever remember getting a stocking with any fruit in it or whatever?
Yes. An orange. I had forgotten about, I don't know exactly what year this was, but 1938 is a good guess. I was about to go to bed without thinking about Christmas. And the fireplace was blazing, you know, and what you usually do is in the cold wintertime, you go in, you roast one side, then you turn around, roast the other side, then you go to bed while you're still warm. Well, somebody caught me, and I think it was Grandma Minnie. Billy, aren't you going to hang up your sock? Well, no. Santa Claus is not coming down that chimney. It's got a fire going in it. Well, why don't you hang it up anyway? So I did. So the next day, I had been up for a while, but I had smelled, my socks didn't smell like socks. They smelled like an orange. And I don't know, do you ever hear of ribbon candy?
Yeah.
Ribbon candy was in that. And that orange and that ribbon candy lasted 2 days. Now, at a time when that was it, I don't even know where they got the money for that.